Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're re-diving into one of the most incredible comeback stories ever told. The life of Joseph. It's a powerful narrative straight from the pages of Genesis, filled with betrayal, shocking plot twists, and ultimately, a breathtaking display of forgiveness. This isn't just an old story. It's a timeless lesson about purpose and faith. So grab a seat and let's journey from a pit of despair to the pinnacle of power in ancient Egypt. Our story begins with Joseph, one of 12 brothers and the clear favorite of his father, Jacob. To show his affection, Jacob gives Joseph a stunning, multicolored coat. This special treatment, combined with Joseph's dreams of his family bowing down to him, created a toxic brew of jealousy among his older brothers. Their resentment boiled over one day when Joseph went to check on them in the fields. They saw their chance. First, they plotted to kill him, but then decided against it. Instead, they stripped him of his beautiful coat, threw him into an empty well, and then sold him for 20 pieces of silver to traders on their way to Egypt. To hide their horrific crime, they soaked the coat in goat's blood and presented it to their father. Jacob, who was left to believe his favorite son had been torn apart by a wild animal. Upon arriving in Egypt, Joseph's life as a slave began. He was purchased by Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard. But even in bondage, Joseph excelled. He was so diligent and trustworthy that Potiphar soon put him in charge of his entire household. Everything he touched seemed to prosper. But just when things were looking up, disaster struck. Potiphar's wife took notice of the handsome young man and tried to seduce him. Day after day, Joseph refused her advances, holding firm to his integrity. Finally, in a moment of rage and humiliation, she grabbed his cloak, and when he fled, she used it as evidence to falsely accuse him of assault. Potiphar, enraged, had Joseph thrown into the royal prison. Even in the darkness of the dungeon, Joseph's character shone through. The prison warden saw his capabilities and soon put him in charge of all the other prisoners. It was here that his gift for interpreting dreams came to the forefront. He correctly interpreted the dreams of two of Pharaoh's former staff, the cupbearer and the baker. He told the cupbearer that he would be restored to his position and asked him to remember him to Pharaoh. The cupbearer was indeed freed, but in his joy he completely forgot about Joseph for 2 long years. Joseph's moment finally arrived when Pharaoh himself had 2 disturbing dreams that none of his magicians or wise men could decipher. That's when the cupbearer finally remembered the young Hebrew in prison. Joseph was cleaned up and brought before the most powerful man in the world. He explained that Pharaoh's dreams were a message from God. Egypt would experience 7 years of incredible abundance, followed by 7 years of devastating famine. Joseph didn't just interpret the dreams. He offered a solution. He advised Pharaoh to appoint a wise administrator to collect and store grain during the plentiful years to prepare for the drought. Pharaoh was so impressed by Joseph's wisdom and spirit that he declared, "Can we find anyone like this man, in whom is the Spirit of God?" In a single day, Joseph went from prisoner to prime minister, second in command over all of Egypt. He was only 30 years old. Just as Joseph had foretold, the famine was severe, and it hit all the surrounding lands, including Canaan, where his family lived. Hearing there was grain in Egypt, Jacob sent 10 of his sons to buy food. When they arrived, they came before the powerful Egyptian governor and bowed low to the ground, not recognizing their own brother. Joseph knew them immediately, and his childhood dream was fulfilled. After a series of tests to see if their hearts had changed, Joseph could no longer contain himself. In a raw emotional reunion, he revealed his identity. He saw their fear and guilt and told them, "Don't be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you." He brought his entire family, including his aging father Jacob, to Egypt and gave them the best land to live in. Joseph's story is a profound masterpiece of divine providence. It shows how something intended for pure evil can be turned into an instrument for immense good. It's a testament to the power of holding onto your integrity, even when your circumstances are bleak, and the liberating strength found in forgiveness. What his brothers meant for harm, God used to save an entire nation. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey today. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into timeless tales. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.